Ravens flock, what's going on? I hope everybody's having a good week so far. So we are finally finished with the bye week and we are entering that final stretch of the season. And this definitely felt like a more wild bye week compared to previous seasons, or at least compared to previous seasons that I can remember off the top of my head, just because of the amount of concerns that we all have had over the past couple weeks going into the bye week, whether it's Justin Tucker, the Deontay Johnson situation, the state of the O-line, so on and so forth, all these things happening. It's a shame that it seems like we're not going to see that on Hard Knocks. Like, it seems like maybe the Ravens front office and Hard Knocks have both kind of decided to keep that sweep that under the rug for the most part, because so far in the first 2 episodes of Hard Knocks, we really are just, it seems like background characters essentially. Like, they just kind of made it more about every other team, which, that's fine at the end of the day. I know some people may be concerned or frustrated with that just because they feel like it seems like we're not going to get any context on what's actually going on or how everybody's handling all of that, and just handling the pressure that we're dealing with in general, which I understand. But at the same time, it may be for the best, just because if everything is swept under the rug, assuming that we come out guns blazing and we just hit the ground running for the rest of the season and win out, which I think we can do, then it is what it is at that point. It'll just be a thing of the past that we as Ravens fans may remember and think about, but the general public, they simply won't care, because so many other things happen to where, like, people have forgotten about anything related to us. Even the Deontay situation, outside of Ravens flock, like, nobody really cares or is thinking about it. And that's still tricky, but ultimately we are still in a good spot, and there's still cause for optimism in my opinion. I still think, despite any issues we may have on the team, especially when it comes to coaching, despite these issues related to Harbaugh or any other flaws on the team, we still are in a very good spot. Not just for the division, but maybe even for the 2 seed. Now, obviously, we can't look past each opponent and get focused on the 2 seed. Obviously, we just gotta focus on winning out and just getting hot, because all we need at this point is one run, whether it's as the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 6 seed, it really doesn't matter. We just need one run, just an 8-game stretch where we play to our full potential, or at least 90% of our full potential, because if we do, we will not lose to these other teams, because these other teams also have flaws. But these other teams don't have the upside that our team has. So winning cures everything at the end. Winning will cure everything at the end of the day. But coming off of this bye week, we will be playing the New York Giants. This is expected to be a blowout. Many betting websites are predicting that we may win by double digits. On paper, of course, we should, but we've seen scenarios where we go up against bad teams and we show up unprepared, and so this is still a team and a game that we cannot look past. As far as the injuries are concerned, surprisingly, we do not have nearly as many injuries going into this part of the season as the team we are about to face. I know we're not typically, in most seasons, we're not used to that being the case, but for the most part, all of our key players seem to be either healthy or at least they're at a level where they're still ready to go. Michael Pierce, I believe, is expected to play. Ardarius Washington was questionable with a personal issue, but I believe there's a chance he will play. Of course, we're still missing people like Charlie Kolar and Arthur Millette, but the Giants are missing way more key pieces, like mainly Dexter Lawrence. He's on IR, which that's a big blow to them, but a major benefit to us, because our O-line is the weak link, or one of the biggest weak links on this team, or it has been for most of the season. And somebody like Dexter Lawrence, he could single-handedly wreck a game, so him not being there is actually going to be a big favor to us. They're also missing their starting left tackle, Andrew Thomas. He's one of the better left tackles in the league. So again, their offensive line is nothing to write home about. So this would be an ideal game for all of our defensive linemen to eat. That's what I'm expecting to happen. Hopefully, this could be the type of game where Odafe Owe and Kyle Van Noy could really pick up some steam and go into the Steelers game as hot as possible, because that would be very exciting to see them both go into this game and feast and both get multiple sacks, especially because even though the Steelers are a tough team, they're another team with a bad O-line. So I believe that would set us up to really be as confident as possible going into, well, they're coming to the bank, going against the Steelers one more time and really getting our defense to ramp things up. But that may not even be a big concern at this point. Our defense has ramped things up the past couple weeks. Like, we've only given up like one receiving touchdown in the past like 3 games, which we've still given up several rushing touchdowns, but at the same time, receiving touchdowns, of course, was such a big deal in the beginning of the season, because we were giving up like 300 plus yards a game to almost any quarterback and multiple passing touchdowns to almost any quarterback, even freaking Gardner Minshew. So to see us actually be able to start to hold some of the better offenses in the league in check, I'm expecting that to continue, especially against a Giants team that has nothing. Like, outside of Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy, you know, they're solid players, but there's really nothing else there offensively. They don't have a quarterback. On paper, this game shouldn't even be a conversation. This should be a game where we should have it wrapped up by the third quarter. But the $1 million question is going to be, are we going to show up prepared? I'm very interested to see how well we establish the run early in the game. Like I said, Dexter Lawrence won't be playing, but they still do have several players on that defensive line who are pretty good, like Brian Burns, or I believe the young guy they drafted, his name was like Thibodeau or something. They have guys who can create pressure, but at the end of the day, this should be a get-right game. But again, with all that we've seen over the years, we can't even go into this game too arrogant, because that's exactly how we'll end up in a scenario of getting humbled again. So, but this should still be a pretty easy game. We'll see how it goes. I know MetLife has a reputation for people getting hurt playing on that turf for whatever reason, but hopefully we can get out of there healthy, and hopefully we can have the game wrapped up by the third quarter. We'll see how that goes. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Like, what are your predictions for this game? And do you think we'll be prepared?